Breaking down Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Good Monday evening. Welcome. We are in November, right, Brendan? I want to make sure of that.
Yes,
Halloween's
this is the first
us.
Monday in November.
And my brain works on the high school football schedule, so I know it's November because we're in the last week of the regular season. This is Randy Rosetta. This is the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. We do this right now. We do this 3 nights a week for the next few weeks. We're going to drop back to 2 nights a week once everybody gets some turkey and gets to be thankful for a week. We come back December 1st. We'll be back on Monday and Wednesday. I finally got the schedule lined up for that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But tonight we're going to begin the first kind of the stretch run of our 3 shows a week. We're going to be talking Estacado, Memorial, and Liberty football after a busy week for all 3 teams, 2 of them that played each other. And then we're going to hit the other schools, the other 5 schools the rest of this week. And we'll, like I said, we'll tweak the schedule a little bit and come back December 1st looking a little bit different, but not too terribly. I'm joined right now by Estacado defensive coordinator Joshua Young. If you're watching on TV, he's the handsome dude down to the left there. You'll hear his voice here in a second. We're going to talk about Matadors wrapping up the regular season against Liberty, having an open week. I don't want to say bye week. I know it's not bye or off. It's open week. And then look at who it looks like they may draw in the first round. That looks like it's fairly set right now. So before we get going, I want to jump in and look at the scores from last week just so we can kind of set the baseline here. Thursday night, that was the big one. Estacado and Liberty out at Lowry Field. Liberty came away with a 49-22 win. And we're going to talk a lot about that. I ran into Joshua on the way out. His guys did a lot of good things, just ran into a team that had a really good night in the Liberty Patriots, and both teams have had great seasons. I've seen Liberty enough to know that may have been about as well as they've played this year. That doesn't necessarily make Joshua feel any better. On Friday night, Odessa Permian came to town and got out of here with a 38-25 win against Friendship in District 2-6A. That clinched at least a tie for the district championship for the Panthers. They can win it outright by beating Midland High this week. Friendship is in the playoffs. They got that courtesy of Midland High losing to Midland Legacy. The Tigers go down to San Angelo Thursday night. That game is basically to determine who will be the number 1 seed in Division II out of 6A and get a home game, and who will have to hit the road for El Paso in the first round. In District 2 5A Division I, Amarillo High beat Lubbock High 58-13. Abilene High held on against Monterey. The Plainsmen made a late push against them. Lost 42-34. In District 2 5A Division II, Lubbock Cooper continued its late season push. Beat Abilene Wiley 42-35. That clinched a playoff spot for the Pirates, who, like Estacado, have an open week this week to kind of rest up and get healed before they go to the playoffs. Plainview fell to Wichita Falls Memorial 49-22 up in Plainview. The other District 2 to 4A Division II game, Levelland blazed past Borger 46-12. That sets up Levelland comes to town, takes on Liberty Friday at Patriot Stadium. The Lobos can kind of throw a wrench in the plans there. They could force a 3-way tie. I'm going to maybe test Joshua here in a little bit and see exactly what that means. I have an idea what it means. Other than 3 teams saying they were tri-champions, there may be some playoff stuff involved there. In TAPS, Trinity Christian went on the road and got a huge win. Beat Southwest Christian 24-14. That keeps the Lions' playoff hopes alive. It's still a steep challenge. They've got to beat Midland Christian when they come to town on Friday, but at least it's there. They've got a fighting chance. Lubbock Christian wrapped up their district championship in TAPS Division III District 1 by beating previously number 2 Pantego Christian 40-8. And the only TAPS 6-man game of the week, Christ the King remained the city's only undefeated team this season. They improved to 8-0. They beat Midland Holy Cross 35-0. Golden Lions are having their best season ever and can sew up their first outright district championship since 2008, I believe, if they can beat Amarillo Holy Cross at 4 p.m. Friday. So that wraps us up on the scores from last week. Joshua, it's good to see you. Much better situation than the other night.
Oh, yeah. It was frustrating the other night, but, you get over it. Come back and ready to regroup, show what we got.
You're a dad of a teenager or multiple?
Multiple teenagers.
There you go. So you had to get up Saturday morning and be ready to shift gears. You had all your players to deal with, but I always want to make sure where my teenager is on a Saturday morning, too.
No doubt. It was good to be able to talk to both of my kids and whatnot and kind of refocus on what's important. But, we're also still thinking about football. But to hear both of them kind of re-encourage me and, stuff like that is good. So
kids are good for the heart.
Oh, yeah.
You heard me talking about it. You guys are – you've got the open week, so you get a chance to kind of step back, exhale just a little bit, let guys get healthy. Let me call this back up. It looks like, if I'm looking at the district, make sure I got them right here. District 1 4A, is that one? Yeah. District 1 4A standings. Looks like you guys are in position right now where you're going to play Fort Stockton. Does that sound right?
Correct.
Did you play them? You played them last year in the playoffs.
We played them last year, yes, sir.
It's Liberty who's played them in the regular season the last few years, and they've had a solid season. They're 6-4 this year. They've held their own at times, struggled at times, but that's a team that you guys have gotten to know well. That's still to be determined because, like I said, Levelland could come over here and kind of gum up the works. Have you guys hashed out what that does for the three teams?
If Levelland was to come take care of business, and I think we'll start looking at points and see where that puts us at. Obviously, it would be great to go down as a co-winner or whatnot, co-champion. But playing the game, you still look at it like, well, Liberty did beat us, so that effect still hurts you, so.
But if you guys are tri-champions, you guys beat Levelland.
Yes, sir.
And they would have beaten Liberty, so it'd be like that Spider-Man meme where you're all standing there looking at it.
Right.
We've got a lot of football to talk about with Joshua when we come back because Matador's had a great season, finished 7-3, have a playoff game coming up. I feel like maybe a few playoff games. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 Score. We'll be right back.
Diving headfirst into Estacado athletics. You're listening to the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. You were in the high school fan zone on 100.7 The Score. This is week, I don't know if they call it week 11 or week 12. I lost track. I think I'm calling it week 11 on HubCityPreps.com just to keep myself sane. I know it's easiest to say it's the last week of the regular season, which, as I mentioned, Estacado and Lubbock Cooper's regular season ended last week. Both of them are headed to the playoffs, but I'm glad for both of you that you go into this knowing you've got a playoff spot because you don't want to be stuck in limbo.
Absolutely.
Do we finish up? Or Lubbock Cooper was very close to where that could have happened. So, But Joshua, just to go back to last week a little bit, Liberty, as I mentioned, came out and played a really good game on both sides of the ball. We were just talking about some of the little things that kind of added up quickly. Your first possession, Cedric Ross gets loose on a 30-yard run, and one of their linebackers had a really good angle and didn't give up on the play.
Right.
Actually caught him, and I think you guys gave it up on downs.
Yes, sir.
Didn't score on that first possession.
Yes, sir.
That right away kind of changed things a little bit.
Yeah, because, obviously we want to score the ball, and then I think looking at it all year long, if Ced breaks a 30-yard run, you might, you can bet money it's a touchdown.
You can see the taillights.
Yeah, so hats off to Liberty and those guys for, their pursuit drill, their resiliency, just trying to get our guys down. They did the same thing with JD or James Bozeman in the backfield. They did a good job of trying to get those guys down. So, and just as far as their offense, man, they stayed after it. There was a few plays where we got them behind the sticks, would try to catch them in the backfield, and then they hit us for a big play. So they just kept chugging at it all night, and hats off to them again.
I just said this to the friendship coach when I talked to him today. Permian's guys made plays that maybe they don't normally make. And now Liberty's receivers have been good, but Pierce Fioroni makes that catch with two guys on him.
Yeah.
That's like a Saturday afternoon catch right there. That's a guy who just went up and wanted the ball. And your guys, I think it was Cedric and was Bozeman on him?
Iverson, I want to say Iverson, maybe. Iverson
they were right there. They were where they were supposed to be. He just happened to make a play. when a team's playing that well, that sometimes happens. They just make plays, and your guys are like, well, got to tip your cap to them.
You have to. I mean, they did a good job. And again, just staying with it all night long. I mean, they stay persistent. You know, we would get them in third and fourth downs, and whether we made a mistake, got penalties, and you know they took advantage of that. And so you got to commend that. And those guys are, you know, they're rolling into the playoffs right now. Again, we knew the game. So.
And it's not like Estacado's limping into the playoffs. We were talking in the break here. Your 3 losses have come to 3 really good teams, and I bet if I looked that they don't have maybe more than one or two losses among the 3 schools.
Yes, sir.
That's, you don't like to be on the other side of that, but when you look back, you're like, okay, now we've seen really good teams. Let's go see if we can be that team once we get to the playoffs.
Absolutely. I think it helps us refocus. As I was telling you, you know, once you lose a game, obviously you have to take a step back. You still want to press forward, but you have to take a step back and look at it and say, what did we miss this game? So we had the Jim Ned game loss, and then, you know, you come back and you win a game, and then you take the West Plains game, and then, you know, from there we were on a roll, you know. And so after that, you know, losing this game, as I was telling the players, you know, like, hey, guys, you won 6. You know, our season isn't over yet. We still got a lot of football we can play. So my thought process was if we win 6 more, then we're state champions, you know. So that's how you got to kind of take it, go week for week. I think that this week, with us having the open week, we can kind of take that step back, and then, as you said, you know, get guys healthy, but also kind of go back through and walk through things, and you know, the attention to details where we got to pick up on this week.
I was going to ask you, do you like, you don't get to, they hand you the schedule, you got to play what they give you. Do you like having this week off, or do you worry about guys like losing kind of pulling up off the accelerator?
You know, I think it's kind of 50-50. I've never been in this situation outside, you know, at previous jobs, but getting to it now, it's like, hey, you go, you know, 14 weeks strong as we did, including the scrimmages and whatnot, and then you kind of have that week off, and then you go back and reevaluate the season, and you're just like, hey, we're still rolling, you know. So I don't think that it's going to affect our guys' energy too much. And it gives us that break that we need to have, and maybe we can kind of reset, and now we're going into the playoffs without having to play a game and then go right back and play another game. So
one coach during the season, I thought the way he put it is the open week, whenever it comes, it gives your players a chance just to be a kid for a few days.
Right.
You know, you don't want them to completely forget about everything, but just kind of relax for a little bit and know that you got some work to do, and you guys absolutely have some big work ahead of you. I think you got a chance to, like you said, there could be 6 weeks ahead once you get going. So,
yes, sir.
Coming up on the second break, we got some more Estacado football to talk about when we come back in the Matador Fan Zone. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score.
Your inside look into Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back to the High School Fan Zone. I got a little bit distracted because they're showing some pregame for the Cowboys game, and they're doing some stuff on Marty Schottenheimer, who is a guy I just love to watch coach. Defensive-minded guy.
Yes, sir.
His teams, if they got anywhere close, he was going to kick a field goal because he wanted his defense back out on the field. So as a defensive coordinator, I'm sure you don't have to worry about that. Just for most of the last 10 weeks, it's just been get the ball to Cedric and Bozeman. And
I mean, and those guys, they take off.
Yes, they do.
When they get a chance to score, those guys go score it.
And that's the thing. Even though you guys got beat the other day, Cedric still had a huge night.
Right.
He scored all 3 touchdowns.
Correct.
Had 2 long runs. One thing we talked about, I thought one key for Liberty was they kind of choked off the middle, the running. They took away the inside running. Kind of dared you guys almost to go outside, and we're like, we'll see if we can't catch Cedric. And I talked to Joe Sexton afterwards. He said, we caught him a few times, but he got away from us a few times. And right. Cedric's going to get away from everybody a few times.
He really is. The kid is special, man. I can't say enough about him. I think that he's a pleasure to coach. He's a pleasure to watch. I mean, sometimes it's hard to watch him when I'm watching our offense, and you just see him with the ball, and it's like, this kid is good. You know, one run that he broke, the 60, 70-something yarder, and it's just like he turns the corner, and you're just like, yeah, he's gone, you know.
You may have heard me tell this story before. It's when Bobby was Bobby may have been a sophomore. Cedric was just a freshman. And I can't remember who they were playing. It was at Lowry Field. Bobby wasn't known to be a blocker because he loved to run the ball, which is pretty good coaching to give that dude the ball.
Right.
But this particular play, Bobby led him out of the backfield around the end, and Bobby took out, I think, at least 2 guys. And you saw Cedric get that corner for the first time, and you could almost, if I'd have been looking at him, I bet you would have seen his eyes get real big as he realized, hey, my speed's going to work here.
Oh, yeah. It's good speed. He's a great athlete, man, and, I know he's going to do well at the next level, and I mean, again, you can't say enough about him. As I said the last time I was on here, I think Sid is almost like a cheat code.
Yes.
He's a video game cheat code. He is that good.
I think I actually stole that from you. He tweeted something, and I responded, human cheat code.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is. Wherever he goes, he's going to make someone happy.
And for those who don't know, that opened up a little bit this week. He'd been committed to Colorado State, but they fired their coach recently, and Cedric and I talked a little bit about it in Coach Ward's office, and I kind of asked him, and he said, yeah, I want to. It's a good chance. So he's going to get a lot of attention. I imagine this week in particular, with you guys having an open week, there's probably some, I don't know the recruiting stuff well enough to know when they can contact, but I imagine there's a lot of college coaches out there that know how to get a hold of Cedric.
Yeah, if they don't, they need to.
Yes, they do. I told you who I want to get a hold of them, so they don't listen to me though. They just took my money for 5.5 years. They didn't ask me for
you
money.
should have a little influence, Randy.
I would think so. You guys, the open week, like we've talked about, gives you guys a chance to heal up, but you're also going to keep working on football. How do you defensively? Do you just work on fundamentals in these down days, or do you start looking at Fort Stockton, thinking that may be who you play?
I think it's both. We're going to break it back down to some fundamentals, kind of slow things back down. As I said, we're going to walk it, not walk it out, but we're going to get back down to base speed, and then we're going to go back, go look at our coverages, go back and just self-scout, self-evaluate. Where did we mess up? And then we are also going to be looking at Fort Stockton and trying to prepare for those guys. But our team, we think highly of our guys, so we bet on our guys first, and we don't just want to say that any team is going to beat us. We'll have to beat ourselves. So again, I think that the self-scout, the reevaluating what we've done wrong is going to help us out down the long run. And then we still have a week to get ready for Fort Stockton, so after this week.
Yep, and you're a little bit in limbo because you've got to wait out the Level and Liberty game a little bit, but that looks like a fairly safe idea moving forward. We'll also mention real quick in your snapshot numbers, you guys are going to stay 4A Division II.
Yes, sir.
Nothing has changed a whole lot, so which I think is the other cool thing is I think Liberty is going to stay there for at least 2 more years, and that rivalry just kind of got hatched last year in football and had started in the other sports before, but I guess not. I guess you guys started in football, but boy, the rivalry's there now for the next couple of years.
It definitely is. I mean, us beating them last year and then them coming back and getting us this year, it's definitely going to be something that we can look back and forth, or look at back and forth and just say, hey, this is a big time game. And, with it being at the end of the season also, it's if we keep it there, that's a game to look forward to every year.
Yep.
So.
No doubt. Coaches always say it's not a rivalry until they can beat each other, or 2 games in, we're right there. So,
yes, sir.
Matadors that have an open week, we'll talk again to them before they head to the playoffs. We'll come back after the break in the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.